Hey guys, so today I want to talk about something that has really held me back so many times in the past, and it's made me really unhappy and unable to progress. And I want to talk to you about it because it's something that I know most of you struggle with, if not all of you. So it's about not being good enough or not feeling like you're good enough. To maybe it's like you're not good enough to get to your goal, to get started. Like a lot of people that want to start training with me say, oh, I've got to get ready for, I've got to start training first. I've got to basically get good enough first before I come to you. And that in itself is a roadblock, because in your brain you're telling yourself you're not ready, you're not good enough, and it's just putting up barriers because your brain knows that it's uncomfortable to change and it would rather you stay in your comfort zone. And it is uncomfortable because you're going to have to do new things. You're not just going to run on autopilot and do the same bad habits. You're going to be more aware. You're going to improve things that help you get a better life. You're going to improve your sleep. You're going to improve your training and your diet, and that's going to change everything for you. And sometimes that can be really scary. One, because you're saying I'm not good enough, and what if I fail? What if I don't get there? And you know what's worse than failing? Much, much worse is not trying, because you know what? You're definitely going to fail if you don't try. If you listen to that voice that says I'm not good enough, so don't put myself out there, don't try, care what others think. So if you're being controlled by what others think of you and worrying all the time and being anxious because you're scared of other people's thoughts, well, other people's thoughts can't hurt you, and you're actually putting yourself in a worse position because you're not going to be able to get any better at anything because you're so frozen by fear and not thinking you're good enough. When I first started my fitness journey, I had gone through a pretty rough breakup, and I kind of just threw myself into gym because my friend was going at the time, and I just thought, you know what, revenge body, and I wanted to be better because I wanted to be good enough for someone to love me. I wanted to feel like I mattered, and from that feeling of not being good enough, I kind of just went 110% extreme, and I really did bad things to my body. I didn't look any better because I was going at it from such a negative place, and I wasn't listening to my body, and I wasn't going about it in a smart way. I was going to extremes, and I was putting so much stress on my body through extreme dieting, extreme training, and not training in the right ways. Even though I had a trainer, I hired a trainer because I was willing to do whatever it took, and I went so extreme. And because I just thought in my head I'm not good enough the whole time, I was never able to make meaningful progress, because every time I progressed that little bit, I would subconsciously sabotage my efforts somehow, or it was just like a losing battle. I wasn't paying attention to sleep. I didn't realize how important sleep was, and I wasn't sleeping more than 3 consecutive hours. I would stay up late because I couldn't fall asleep, and then I would get up early because I wanted to be on point with my exercise, doing lots of cardio, doing Muay Thai classes, doing strength training, doing CrossFit, doing everything I could because I was trying to force myself to be better because I felt like I wasn't good enough. And you hear a lot about people saying you have to be happy first, and you can't just expect this process to make this end result to make you happy. You can't say I'll be happy when X. You have to learn to love the process and really internalize that, because loving the process is doing things every day that help your body feel good, help you feel energetic. And if you're doing those things, you'll gain momentum because you have more energy from looking after your body. You'll look better because you feel better. You'll be healthier. You'll be more motivated, and your mood will be better. So if you address the things that are the actual issues, then you can get long-term success because you're not continually self-sabotaging or second-guessing or questioning yourself. And I see this so much. Girls that are so close, or that they just start making progress and they're so close to change, and then they have so much negative self-talk and self-limiting beliefs that they just go off the rails and go back to how they used to be. Most people do it because they push so hard and go so extreme. It's not that they're not dedicated, it's not that they're not lazy, but their beliefs are so strong that they go to the extreme, and then that sets them up for failure because they're so dedicated that they're actually putting so much stress and hurt on their body that it just forces them to rebound. So you need to address your beliefs. You need to address, okay, what am I doing today to help my body, to nourish my body, to make me feel good? I'm not one of those woo-woo, like, you know, just listen to your body and have green juice, because that's bullshit. I think that you need a scientific evidence-based approach, but you also need to address what's holding you back, which is that those self-limiting beliefs, the belief that you aren't good enough to get to your goal. And so if you truly believe that, you will just be unconscious or subconsciously doing things that self-sabotage because you think, well, you know, my goal isn't that important because I'm never going to get there. I'm never going to be that person. So you have to internalize it and believe you are that person and act as if you are already happy, or if you're already at your goal, how would you feel? What would you do? What would you do to stay there? Do those things that are sustainable, and then you'll get long-term real results, and you'll be happier straight away because you know what? You are good enough. We're all the same. It doesn't matter where you've come from. It doesn't matter what genetics you have. If you follow a solid plan, a solid approach that is holistic in that it addresses things like sleep, negative self-talk, meditation and mindfulness, eating habits, strength training, and it addresses everything, and it assesses where you're going wrong, what habits are affecting you, and what habits you need to replace, and how you can slowly build that over time to get easier, more sustainable results. If you're not doing that holistic approach and you're going to a trainer who just wants to smash you at the gym and they're just like, oh yeah, just eat healthy, or if they're like, oh no, you just need to detox, or you just need to eat clean, or I'm sorry, but they're missing a big part of the picture, because you can't just focus on one rock. You have to focus on the whole picture. You have to address why you're like that in the first place, what got you there, what habits are hurting you, what habits are helping you, and you really have to stop the thoughts that kill your motivation and mood. Because if you don't have the energy because you're constantly in a crappy mood, because you talk to yourself like shit and you are so negative all the time and you complain and you put yourself down, then it's going to be a horrible journey and you're not going to want to continue. And you know what? You're going to fall off, and then you're going to be even more upset because you fell off, and you're going to try other extreme approaches, and you'll keep trying to find the right approach. Like, you keep trying to find the one thing that will help you, but really you already have inside of you what you need, because you're already good enough. You just need to have faith in yourself enough to say, okay, I'm going to make this a priority, and I'm going to decide to look after myself, to make sleep a priority, to make eating healthy, eating my fruits and vegetables, getting lean protein in every meal, making the things that will actually help you a priority. Not doing some juice detox, not doing some extreme workout that makes you feel like you're going to pass out. You don't need those things. You need balance. You need to look at the things that actually drive you and what's holding you back. So if you're not assessing where you're already at, then it's hard to know what things you need to change first. So make sure you're not just following a blind approach. Know where you're at and know what you need to change to get where you want to be. Kind of reverse engineer your goal, and remember that I mean when I say you are good enough, because you know it's not fun thinking that you know, that you're not. And I don't want you to waste any more days wondering, oh, should I try this? Am I good enough? And feeling like less than you are, because we all deserve to be happy and fit and healthy, because it feels good. And if you do it the right way, it will feel good and it will improve every aspect of your life. Your energy, your productivity, your efficiency, your sleep, everything will get better. But first you need to decide to decide to talk to yourself better, to decide that you are good enough, to write down your goals, how you're going to get there, take it seriously, and stop caring what anyone else thinks, because most people are too concerned with themselves to care about you. And you need to put yourself first, and you need to be caring about what you think and not what other people think. If you want more help and support and you feel like you still don't know what you're doing, feel free to join my Facebook group, Grow with Del. I'll link it below. Thanks for listening.